And we are live. Hey, everybody. Hope you guys are doing okay. Uh, for those that are very new, I'm Nita. I am one of the admins of this wonderful establishment. And what we are doing this evening, as we do just about every Sunday evening, is our open discussion. Let's talk autism. If you are very new, you just throw your questions in. You can help. If another parent throws a question in and you have an answer or a suggestion, feel free to chime in. It's all about parents helping parents. So make sure you got those snacks and that favorite beverage, and let's talk. Linda, you want to introduce? You can't hear me.
Yeah, no, oh yeah, sorry. I was still trying to look for the page. I'm Linda, I'm the other admin. Hi, everybody.
I'm going to share it in groups too. While we're waiting on everyone to come on in. Okay, here we go. So please give me a second, everybody, just sharing a few places. Y'all may hear my granddaughter in the background. She's having a good time by herself upstairs. Ding dong. Almost done here. Okay, I think I did. I think. Yeah. Now I just have to share to my page. Here we go. Here we go. So let's see who's here. Hey, Rachel, Catherine, hello. Emily, there's Emily. Rihanna, good evening. My state is everyone's wearing a mask as of Monday, but my son refused. Yeah, the governor just put that law into effect here. Well, you have to wear it in public spaces like the stores, and I do anyway. So hold on one second, you guys. Give me 1 minute. Let me.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to get that up, but it's not working. Hey everyone. Hey, Catherine and Emily, Rihanna. Hey, Shailene in DC. Hey, Rachel. Hey, I need to ask you guys something. When I take my son to the store, he has a big meltdown, so bad where people are looking at us. Why? Why he is crying? For I tell them he has autism. I think that that's got to be one of the toughest things about going out of the house with your loved one on the spectrum is meltdowns. I can say that those are one of the toughest things because not everybody's familiar with what autism is and what autism is about. Um, the best thing that you can do. How old is your son? Hey, Victoria. Hey, Kat.
I think, yeah, it's going to be a lot of talking for most of us, um, trying to make people understand that our kids, because our kids, most of our kids don't understand social distancing, you know.
Yes.
So a lot of talking.
Sure.
Hey, Kate. Hey, Shalene from DC. Hello. Rachel says, "Hey, I need to ask you guys something. When I take my son to the store." Oh, you answered that already?
Yeah, that was the one
Oh,
that we
oh,
were just
okay, okay,
talking
okay.
about the
Okay,
meltdowns. Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry.
Oh no.
We'll talk about that soon, Catherine. We'll probably have to put that somewhere in the queue. He's 3 years old. Victoria. Fall 7, get up 8. That's right. Mr. Charles.
Hey, Charles.
I get that look as well. It's hard most of the time, but I now start saying don't judge what you don't understand because most of the times my son says, "Mommy, why is my brain not working?" Oh, and it upsets me so much, but I started explaining to him as much as I can. I just hope I'm doing it right. I'm sure. It's amazing that he even feels, that his brain is not working. But I'm sure you are doing a wonderful job trying to explain it to him. It's hard with our kids because we just don't know what to say most times. My son has anxiety. He tends to bite his shirts a lot. Do you know of any sensory toys that help with this? Linda, did you guys talked about the chewy thing?
Um, yeah, I guess that work because we have the ones that go. I don't know how they attach them, but they normally attach them around their like a necklace. But I don't know if they come like that or what. But I think that that would be a good thing if you can find one like that because it's right at his shirt collar where he's probably chewing on his shirt. Like my son used to chew in his shirt right here. So unless he's lifting his shirt up to chew, then maybe just to keep something in his hands that he can chew on.
So Virginia, Victoria says I would reinforce that his brain works differently. Yep, that's all you can do is, because I'm sure a lot of us have that problem where we would have to explain where they feel like they're just different. They notice it. So yeah, just keep letting him know there's nothing wrong with him. He just thinks a little different than everyone else. My son is nonverbal as well. Okay. Yeah, you said that. I was looking at a video of my son from a couple of years ago, a few years ago, when he was just starting to say like one word at a time. And the difference from then until now, um, always don't ever give up hope from that nonverbal. But okay, yeah. So anyone else have an idea for her about him biting or what to use? Mr. Charles says, and this is for Virginia, I am sure his brain is working very well in certain areas, maybe better than most people's brains. Yep. That is a
Mm-hmm.
true statement, Mr. Charles. I've tried this one. He just throws the necklace ones. Anyone else have any idea of what Rihanna can use to help?
Hey, Damon. But you know what? I don't know. That's a hard one with the meltdown and people are staring, and then you want to be able to tell them. Some people, it's not going to matter even if they knew, because some people will stare even though they know there's autism. Uh, what I do is when I'm going through that situation, I kind of tune everything else out because I need to focus on myself and my daughter during the time of the meltdown instead of focusing on what everybody else is doing. And I notice that like everybody else becomes a blur in my peripheral, and I'm dealing with just Emily and what we need to do to get through the meltdown. Do we need to leave the store? Do we need to cope and continue in the store? So uh, that's kind of what I just keep focusing on.
Yeah, and I have to agree, it's better to try to get them out of your don't worry about them more or less because you have to
Mm-hmm.
do people are gonna talk. And even if they
Yep.
don't know, about the autism, they're gonna assume you don't know how to handle your child. That's the
Mm-hmm.
first assumption.
Yep.
And they don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. Because then too, even when if you were to tell them there's autism or they were to hear it, there's still going to be those people that just because they're autistic doesn't mean that they have to be misbehaved, because they're not going to fully understand it. Uh, so I've noticed that getting upset with people, getting irritated with people, or trying to educate people, none of that really. The educating part is the most, but what happens when they don't accept it or they argue with you about it? Um, so, like I said, during a meltdown, all of my energy goes where it needs to go, not into others.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'm not gonna mention any names, but I was a big fan of not a YouTuber. She was Instagram. And I followed her on Instagram and on Facebook. And what made me unfollow her was a statement she made. A parent had mentioned something. She took her child to Disney World, which is common, but she had to use the what do you call them? I don't want to call it a leash. but what you call it? But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you
People
know what I'm
call
talking
them leashes. Yeah.
about.
I
Yeah.
mean, but it's a tether. It's like a tether.
Okay. So
Hmm.
she had that on her child because her child was a runner. And she made a statement like, oh, you guys just need to put a handle on your kids. Y'all just don't know how to talk about, I mean, take care of your kids. She just went on, arguing back and forth. And people in the comments were actually trying to explain to her it's different when your child has autism. You don't understand. She didn't want to hear it. So from her doing that, I loved her. I unfollowed her. And this was actually a couple years ago when this happened. But you have people that are so headstrong and don't want to hear what you're saying. They just want to, oh, you don't have a handle on your child. You don't know your child. So you're gonna
Yeah.
get that. So the best
And
thing to do is focus on your child.
yes, because think about it. You'll be dealing with their comments or their disagreement during the meltdown. So you're kind of just compounding the situation. And Danon says that other people don't matter in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Michael.
Virginia
Yeah.
says, I have a question. Hopefully, you lovely ladies or someone in the group can answer. But at what age can or does a child get diagnosed? I really have a feeling my 18-month-old grandson may have autism because he is doing pretty much everything my 8-year-old who was diagnosed when he was 7. I wish he was diagnosed much earlier, but at least we finally got his diagnosis. Well, there are different ages, but I guess 18 would be about around about the right age when um you start noticing things.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend, her baby, her son and my son are around the same age, and when we were talking, the doctor noticed right away, and her baby was only like 7 months, but they didn't wait. They waited to get an official diagnosis. I didn't notice things until my baby was about 2, and he didn't get an official diagnosis till he was just about 3 years old. So if you are noticing things, it make sure you keep in constant contact with the doctor. Take notes. Take notes if they're not reaching their milestones, and at the doctor's appointment, explain that to the doctor, and they may refer you to a developmental specialist, pediatrician, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely bring it to somebody's attention. And I'm just going to assume that you're here in the States. Um, I know in the UK they don't diagnose really before 5 years old, so it takes longer there. Um, but even so, if you're in the States and you suspect that uh, he may be on the spectrum, there's things that you can get, services you can get prescribed from your doctor before he's even diagnosed. So, especially at 18 months, they're probably going to want to do a little bit of therapy to see more about him and more about his progress before they diagnose him. So, my daughter, I suspected at 14 months. They diagnosed her at uh, 35 months, and she was in services from the time she was 16 months old. So she had been in services for a while before they actually diagnosed her. But they immediately got her services started because
Yeah,
early intervention is key.
yeah, early intervention. Yeah, my son went through the Head Start program, and we also had someone coming to the house 2 times a week
That's how
before
we had
the
it.
yeah before the
What?
official diagnosis.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We had all the same services before the diagnosis that we would have got after, that we did get after. But it was good because when they suspect it, they will get moving on it. Um, Paulette says, when my daughter was young, I was often berated for her public meltdowns. I was told I spoiled her and should slap her. Now she's
What?
older. Everybody helps out when she has a meltdown.
Wow.
No matter what you see somebody's kid doing, and you see the parents, no matter what, you should never tell that parent you should slap that kid.
Right, because you
You have
don't know
no
what's
idea.
going on.
Yeah, you don't know
Turn
anything.
around and say, I should slap you for even telling me that
Right? Why would you go up to somebody and just say something like that? I mean,
about their kid, about their
exactly.
kid.
You have no idea. You don't know what the kid goes through. You don't know what the kid's dealing with. That is not your place. Uh, Danon said he would have unfollowed her for that too, for
Mm-hmm.
that kind of arrogance too.
Yep, yep. There's no one size fits all answer. Some kids get diagnosed as early as your child's age. Others get diagnosed later in childhood. Then there are those who have gotten diagnosed later in life, like me. Yep, that's true, Mr. Charles. And Catherine wasn't diagnosed until she was 24 years old. Any what? Megs for what? Are you saying meds? For what exactly are you asking?
Um, oh, you're welcome, Rachel, too. Let me see. I cannot be in the store more than 30 minutes. So I'm suspecting, yeah, she's asking for meds for the meltdown. So
Oh, this
the
is
thing is
somebody else.
it's the
Another
same
Rick.
one, right?
Oh,
Harrington?
there too. Oh,
Because
I'm
she's
looking at Rihanna. Okay, okay.
okay, yeah. So
Okay.
so the thing is to control the situation that's causing the meltdowns. So if it was like a specific situation, like you knew that when you pass the toys, he's going to not be able to understand that he can only get one or that he can't get any, and that's causing the meltdown, you want to avoid that situation. If you think that the meltdown is coming because of the sounds and because of what's going on with the visuals and anxiety, then you want to control that. So to say, is there medication for it? It depends on what the meltdown is coming from. Maybe his limit is 30 minutes, where he said that he can't last longer than 30 minutes in the store. Maybe that is his limit because of the sound and the visuals and the stress of not knowing exactly what he'll see next going around the corner and what to expect and what he'll hear. And that could be really anxiety causing for people on the spectrum. So if it's anxiety, besides getting used to it and getting more familiar with it over time, there is medication that people are prescribed for situations or for anxiety. But of course, you always want to talk to your neurologist, psychiatrist, or pediatrician and talk to them about the situation and see what they recommend. Charles says, you were the first one, Linda, to suspect that your daughter had autism, whereas my daughter was the first one to suspect that I had autism.
Wow.
Yeah, that is. I was thinking about Charles the other day, yesterday, I think. My father was, when we did the autism study, my father was, they asked him, they list him as undiagnosed autistic. And it was funny because when Charles says that, I was thinking, no, I thought that about, we thought that about my dad as well. But, it was just a time that it would go by quick. I mean, easier, where these two weren't diagnosed until adulthood.
Right.
Yeah, we work with the reward system with Emily. But of course, so there's behavior as far as like things that you can help through ABA, and things that you and him work together on. Like, so if you know that this situation in the store always is an issue, or if you can avoid things that will come up, like uh, if you sometimes they have, say he wants chicken tenders from the deli, they only have them sometimes. You might want to make sure before you get there that they either do have them or stay away from those iffy situations as much as possible, because most often those are the biggest ones. Those are the biggest meltdowns when it's something they were anticipating and it's not there, it's not available. So,
Well, yeah, that we used to have an issue with coming home because once DeAndre learned the route home and he
mhm,
would see the arches, if he knew if we were coming off the freeway, once we made that left, those big arches were right there. And if we went past it, oh my goodness.
mhm,
So I got smart and had to take alternate routes. So
mhm. Yep, exactly, just like that. So
mhm,
sometimes your behavior has to be ahead of his behavior,
right,
so that you
right,
can avoid it and you can control and maneuver what will happen. And so if you know, like, you're just now hearing, oh, they're out of ice cream, the freezers got shut off and they're not going to have ice cream, then you might want to avoid that whole side of the store if that's what he was looking for. And, wait and see if he brings it up. If he doesn't, and he brings it up in the car, at least it is in the car, the down is in the car, right? But it is. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of thinking 2 steps ahead of them. So
yeah,
you kind of have to plan everything. That's a difficult thing because there's nothing casual about going shopping with your loved one on the spectrum or going out. Because
right.
yeah, it's
Especially if
hard.
they know the routes.
Exactly. Yeah. Emily used to know the same thing. If we turned left at the light, she knew we
Mhm,
were going home. If we kept going straight, she knew she was going to get her Burger King. And
mhm.
she was in a car seat. She was coming home from. She wasn't even in preschool, so she was 2 years old, and she
Wow.
knew this. And she would point and she would be crying that way, that way. But you just have to anticipate things and know. But because it might be a meltdown, don't give in. Just try to avoid the situation. Because if you still mean that you want it a certain way, that because the thing is when there's those situations that you can't change, even if you wanted to give in. Because if something's not available, it's plain out not available. So you want to be able to, if you're planning on saying no, stick to that because there will be times that you can't control it. So kind of, get them used to that.
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself here and stop the cam. I gotta get me some coffee.
Okay.
I'll be back. I'm
Okay.
here, but okay.
Yeah. um, yeah, but that's just part of parenting in general, the planning ahead. It is. It's definitely planning ahead is part of parenting. Uh, being a mother of 4 kids and my youngest being on the spectrum, I can definitely say that and I raised my 3 oldest, they were all under 5 at one point. Uh, I can say that the planning is like 80% more on my part with my daughter that's on the spectrum. And I'm only concerned about her when we're going out because my other ones are grown now. I can still say it's a lot more planning and a lot more energy put into it and thinking ahead than it was with my other 3. Uh, Planning a routine or routine is very important. Um, and another thing, I don't know how old he is, but and I don't know, sometimes we underestimate or we just think that if we do things for them, it's easier, it'll just be easier this way. But to make them involved while they're in the store to keep them busy, whether it's pushing the shopping cart while you pull the shopping cart from the other end to guide it, uh, and showing them what they need to get off the shelf and putting it into the cart. Keeping them busy like that, I noticed was more beneficial because it's keeping them thinking and involved instead of focusing on other things. Another thing is headphones. If you feel that it might be the sound in the stores, and also sunglasses. Emily does better. She lasts longer in public places when she has sunglasses on, and I think because it kind of dulls the lights and all the busyness. And Dana says, but also why avoid the situation? Don't let their actions terrorize your life. Um, I don't know what you exactly mean by that, but that's the same thing that I was saying. Don't if you mean to say no and your child starts having a meltdown, try to hang up, try to get it out, because sometimes you can't change it, and it just have to be something that passes. Um, and definitely, I'm not saying either that a meltdown or that somebody on the spectrum doesn't. We talked about this last week. Even children, or even raising children on the spectrum does not mean that all discipline and all child rearing goes out the window. It still happens. Like we were just saying, that not everything is meltdowns. Not everything is, oh, they didn't know, they didn't understand. A child on the spectrum is still a child, and they still need raising, discipline, and explaining things and learning. And everybody's different, Dana. Overly rigid or schedule can be detriment in the long run. I think that one thing is we did with Emily is I was always against schedules because things change, and I didn't like that everything was scheduled and that she's seen every single thing, uh, because everything in school, everything in therapy, everything was always by appointment, by schedule. So when she came home from school, I let everything be the way that it happens. Oh, we're going to go do this. And I started to learn that, okay, I need to give her maybe 5 minutes of knowledge that we're going to go do this. So I started giving maybe a 5 minute heads up. But now she's 15, and I'm starting to really see that she needs a schedule. So if I say, like one day, she got in trouble maybe a couple weeks ago. So what I did was, because she could not have her iPad that night, what I did was I scheduled the rest of her night out. Not until she got the schedule of the rest of her night was she okay, and she went on with the restriction of no iPad. And but she needed that visual schedule to understand when it was coming back in. So some kids need schedule and some kids don't, or some people on the spectrum. And I'm not going to say that it's 100% one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in major challenge, and I'm at a loss, to be honest. Every day is a battle. What's BCBA?
Behavioral.
I didn't know you
I
could spell
always
here.
forget that.
Yeah, BCBA, isn't it? The BCBA is part of the ABA
Yeah,
therapy, but it's the BCBA is a role, right? It's a person's position, right?
that is the supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, my granddaughter. 1 second.
Oh, okay, yeah, because she says you can still contact their BCBA for guidance. Call music, them in the car, you can get. Okay, sorry, I'm going right back up here. Hold on, let me.
Okay, BCBO is board certified behavioral analysis. Kiyomi upstairs, and
It
they
is
are
a
usually
position.
the supervisor that's over the technician that comes out to your house.
Okay, so I have a 2-year. Okay, so this is where she starts. She says, I have a 2-year-old on the spectrum, an 8-year-old, and a 2-year-old. I have two on the spectrum. Regression has happened since COVID, and I'm at a loss as to what to do.
Where is this at? On?
Oh, sorry. Let me go ahead and put it on here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this. Okay, so I don't know how my thing kept going all the way down here.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm feeding my face. I don't want y'all to see me.
Okay, so I'm just going all the way back here. I give him my phone, but it doesn't last too long. Did she ever say how old her son was, Rachel? I'm not sure if I missed that. Um,
One said their son was 3, and the other was 8. I think. I'm not sure if that was the 3-year-old.
okay.
Let me go up.
Okay, and then what's going on with school? Are people putting their kids in school next month? Are parents homeschooling? If everybody wants to comment on that, we're not sure here. We're not sure what we'll be doing in our family. We're still trying to decide.
Yeah,
Um,
we're not sure either, because only reason I'm not sure is because they haven't put out a solid plan for the special needs students. They have a
yeah,
plan
exactly.
out, but our kids, my main concern is they don't understand social distancing. Most of them will not wear a mask all day in school. And I had posted something on my wall earlier today with questions regarding on my personal timeline that someone shared about, and some good questions about the teachers interacting with the students. So I'm not sure either. It's still a lot of unanswered questions at this time. But the thing is, they're
Mm-hmm.
starting summer school Monday. So
Yeah, I've seen that. Oh my goodness,
mhm.
I've seen Detroit decided on that. Um, Rihanna says planning and routine are key. Yes, that can be vital, especially when there's anxiety involved. Planning and routine are things, because once they get a visual of what happens, they can build upon that and they can remember it, and it lightens the anxiety some. And then Charles says, keep in mind two things. Number one, not everyone is entitled to an explanation about everything, and you can't make anyone understand anything that he does not want to understand. Very
That's
well said, Charles.
that's true.
And then, yep. And then this is where Jennifer comes on with her 8-year-old, 2-year-old regressing since COVID. Brianna says she's not comfortable with them going back to school. Let me see. Jennifer is okay. She's talking about the therapy. Oh, this is the one you put up on planning consistency is kept. I regular parenting, but even more important with kids on the spectrum. Regular parenting, yes, planning. I noticed that when I had things planned, they went more smoothly, whether it was my 3 neurotypical children or Emily, regardless. Anything that I did with a plan was always better than without a plan. Uh, let me see. Damon says, very true and well put. It's not and should not be 100% either way. Nope. And oops, and hey, Jessica, and indeed, very well put, Charles. That's from Dane. Yes, I agree. My son enjoys helping with the groceries. Yeah, I think it was always better when I had her working hands on and kept her doing tasks. It seems like that was taking more of her thinking rather than probably wondering about different things that might happen and anticipating things. It seemed like she was stimming. She didn't have as much time stimming or looking as if she was like zoning out while she was staying on task. The easiest thing or the best trips were when she had a list. When we sat down, we wrote a list together and we gave her the list, and she would start that. She's really, really good for getting only what's on the list. So don't remember something after you get to the store, because if it's not on the list, it's not going into the shopping cart. But which I need to practice often. No, it's not okay to post links here, Dana. That's why I deleted that link. Only on Fridays.
Non-promotional.
Yeah, exactly. Non-promotional links are okay only on Fridays. It's been a major challenge, and I'm at a loss, to be honest. Every day is a battle. I've gone through those times too, where it seems like just every day after day, is just it's a difficult time, and it took me so many times of going through that to realize that it would come in spurts. It would get better, and it felt like I would never be looking back on certain things, but I was, and then it would get smooth again, and then I would notice we're going through those days again. But I think I just try to focus on, we're going to get through these, we're going to get her through these times. So Catherine says, don't think it's a battle, it's a challenge, yes, but you're learning and doing the best you can. Keep your head up. Trial and tribulation is your friend. Try methods, see what works and doesn't work, and make adjustments. And it is hard though. As a parent, you do. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I'll be the first one to tell you. I can relate. You do feel like it's a battle. You feel like it's a battle you've lost plenty of times. You felt like that. And not only do you have to get your child through it, you have to get yourself through it too. Emotionally, it can just really, emotionally and physically, it can really wear you down. It can feel like you've been through a battle. And it doesn't, those feelings don't end when the meltdown stops. Not for a parent, it's still there. You're still feeling stressed. Your nerves are still frazzled, and you're still on edge, but you're still going to be there for your child the next time. So saying that it's a battle isn't a bad thing. It's just voicing how it actually feels sometimes. And I've been there. I'll probably be there again right with you, soon. But, with the support of each other, we can get through this. Just think of the good things. No matter how small or how far in between the good things are, focus on those. It's much easier to remember the difficult times, but focus on the good things, even if you have to write them down. Keep a journal of only the good things. If you have to go back and read those, go back and read them. And the good things, no matter how small, are always worth way more than what you put in during the tough times. So just remember, if it's a hard day, go back and read all the good things, that you wrote down. I used to do that when Emily was little. I used to read the new things that she was doing. I used to read lists of words that she knew. I remember when we got up to like 243 words, and I remember looking in that book and thinking, she is making progress. And that was sometimes the only thing that made me feel encouraged. You're welcome, Jennifer. Let me see. Yeah, Rachel, go ahead and you can send it to me. Jennifer says, okay. Oh, sorry. It's important to make rules understandable to your child. Definitely. Whenever you're talking to anyone on the spectrum, speak to them in language that they know, in the words that they know. You don't have to change your tone to baby talk, but you do want to change it to um, an even level where you're not sounding angry, you're not sounding whiny, you're not, whatever. You want to sound even toned, and you want to say it in the way that they can understand it, because the last thing that they need to think is, I need to follow what they're saying, but I also need to decipher this difficult thing that they're telling me. So say it in the most the way that you know that they understand it. Use their words. I find that helpful. My son, okay. I find that what's helpful with my son is a schedule helps tremendously for my son. And and I felt like Emily was 50-50 on that, but I know with some things definitely need a schedule for her. And thank you, Catherine. She's board certified. Even though you answered it, Catherine, I still want to bring it out, like, because it's in the feed, and I still bring it out. Charles says, enjoy your dinner, Nita. Though I'm curious, just for Dean, and it was Jessica. I already deleted it, and Nita already said no loading. So one more comment, and I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to remove that. I'm gonna have to remove you. She's already talked about no promoting, and that has nothing to do with autism.
Hi, I'm
All right, sorry about you guys.
About 3 things at one time. I'll be right back.
This isn't the place for this, Jessica. Okay. Okay, son is 3. Okay. So yeah, so just the I don't know if you let him walk around the store or if you push him in the shopping cart, but I know some stores have the little strollers. You could even do a thing where maybe there's little things that, like, I used to get creative. Like if we go to the farmer's market or our fruit stand, I would bring the wagon. Do whatever you have to do. If it's something that he can pull or push, that he can put things into out the store, and that keeps him more engaged, keep him engaged as you can, and I think it makes it easier then. The visuals, the schedule. Okay, sorry. The schedule helped my son for a while, and he went back to the same thing. And that's the thing with autism, there's not always, and it's not even 100%. I'm just saying, okay, what I've experienced with autism. So there was the major regression in the beginning that I noticed, and it was the regression that happens after. So it's like the 1 step forward, 2 steps back, but then coming back around to gaining it again. And I noticed right after the difficult things, there was always a spurt of learning. So it was like a learning, like a growth spurt, a learning spurt. And so after it got really difficult, it seems it stopped, and then she was further ahead than she was. She was further down the road than she had been before the difficult time started.
I'm here. I'm gonna come on in 1 second, you guys.
Okay.
My daughter forgot DeAndre's medicine bag, so they have to come all the way back.
Oh my goodness. So I have a question. So I see our topic today, but I had a question that I anticipated asking. if everybody could do this, if everybody could think about what, most of us are parents here, but not all of us. So the ones of us who are parents or caring for somebody on the spectrum, at least name one thing that it's taught you. Because I think,
Say that
like I
one.
said, it's focusing on. Okay, so everybody name at least one thing that you've learned, that you've either learned to do, learned to be, a certain way you learn to think because of your loved one on the spectrum. So I can say I definitely learned patience. I think
Patience. Yeah,
Emily's taught me truly, like true,
that's number
because
one.
yeah, I have to say that I think the biggest thing that Emily's taught me is patience, because I have to watch my tone constantly. I have to watch my volume constantly. Um, I have to stay calm. Her being my fourth one, I wish I would have been able to practice as much patience before, but I mean, kids running around and it just was different. Emily, with autism, you really have to learn patience.
Yes, you
And
do.
Steve says, yeah, and Steve says the same things, patience, the same thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know I had to, and I'm still learning. I'm actually
Mm-hmm.
still learning because sometimes I have to sit down and take a couple deep breaths, and I always say Ari is that backbone there. She always can step in and say, Mama, just take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
And take it. So that's definitely number one. But that's my baby. He's
Yeah.
still my baby
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, and Shanti says yes, she agrees. Or yeah. And then Catherine says, with I learned how to work with my kiddos thanks to y'all in the book, The Reason I Jump. That's good.
Awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
you for sharing that. And Virginia says lots of patience. Uh, Way Busy Forever says responsibility for your feelings and others' needs. Yes, is
Yes.
yeah. Um, to be more flexible is Victoria. Yeah, I would have to say for sure flexibility. You do not know. It's strange because we need to have the most flexibility because it's difficult for them to have that flexibility. But you have to be flexible because you don't know where their tolerance ends or where their capability ends. So you need to be able to plan for that this may not work.
And of
Uh,
course, Mr. Charles had to chime in.
I know. I just seen it. I just seen it. But they do have lots of patience, Charles. That's how they're doctors.
Melody says,
I've
I've
learned.
learned patience and kindness. Yes. And yeah, we have, I think for a lot of us too, by us having a child on the spectrum, we have more compassion to others,
Mm-hmm.
with
Yeah.
not just on the spectrum, but with other special needs. You
Yes.
gain a little more compassion for that.
I definitely agree. I think even with special needs, and I think overall, like you tend to, when somebody's in need or you see that somebody needs help or they need a listening ear, you feel like that compassion goes farther because you've learned to practice so much compassion and parenting. I feel like it's just so much more available now because
Um,
it's something that you practice constantly.
yes. Way busy forever. No, you can only type at the end of our session. We do invite members on to say hi for the last 5 minutes.
Virginia says, and not to mention, never give up on
Right,
him.
right.
Yep,
Never. Like he tells
never.
me,
Yep.
never, mommy. Never.
And really, I don't know how what levels and what ages everybody is living with, but there's things that you might not anticipate in your life. You have children and you think that they will grow up, they will move out, that might not always be the case. They may not be fully independent. You may be babying them for life. You may be doing things, that you thought you only had to do for yourself. You have to do for them as well. But it teaches you that that's what you do. You will speak up. You will bark when you need to bark at the teachers, the IEP team. You will do everything you need to do, but you really learn that is like your, that you really learn to be a true advocate for your child.
You are that child's voice. You
Yep.
are that child's, that's for sure. Because of
Kimberly.
my rough past, I was always quick to get angry, and I used to yell all the time. He has taught me to stop and think myself, and my yelling has gone down tremendously. Awesome. I thank him every day for teaching me to calm down. Yes.
That almost looks like I wrote that. That's exactly how, like, my voice would just raise, and, I never swore or anything like that. But if the kids, okay, you guys need to clean your room, and they didn't hear me, they didn't listen the first time, it's come out much louder the next time. But, like, even like, so if I'm trying to talk, and so say me and Steve or start bickering or something, Emily will start to get, like, saying, like, just talking loud or stimming. And then I know, okay, our voices are getting a little too loud, or she can hear the bickering, so we gotta we gotta really control it. But she really teaches us. She's taught us a lot, just like that right there. You just learn to
Yeah.
calm down, because
Learn.
you don't want to have her upset or your child upset.
Hey, Danielle. Catherine has a question for you.
Linda, I have a question. When I'm bored, I just say these random words like will, or I just shake. Is that stimming you're talking about? Yes, that's Emily's right now is not be. That's what she says. Not be, not be,
Not
not
be.
be. Yeah, so she can, when she gets nervous, or she's not sure what's going on, anxiety, or she's starting to get a little stressed, she will just start saying, not be, not be, not be. She'll just start saying that just nonstop. 2 weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, it changed to that. But before that, it was ah, ah, ah. And that was only a couple weeks as well. But there's different ones. She's doing it a lot right now. But that's one of the things, when she had verbal stimming like that, when it faded away, because it would start to drive you crazy, when it finally faded away, you would notice that she had a surge in language. Or yeah, we would notice that. So
Right.
look at
Yeah, DeAndre does that, the repeating thing with things he's focused on at that
that.
moment. And
Yeah,
oh my God, it can
I
drive
know,
me
right?
crazy. Oh my God. Just
And
like
then
the
I have to.
microphone thing. I mean,
Mhm,
it one day I heard it from sun up to sundown. Microphone, microphone,
mhm,
microphone. And
yeah.
you're like, okay,
Mhm.
okay, going to get the microphone.
Right, and you just start looking online. Where can I get this? How soon can I
Right.
get it? Because yeah, it's something that, but it's something that you think shouldn't be like that stressful, but it is. And then
Mhm.
so but it, to me, it reminds me of dripping water, like say on a rock, and then it can reform the rock, or the mountains were formed by water dripping, things like that. Because it's just constantly, but you just got to do it right.
Mhm. With my older
Uh,
kids, I never let them outside with just socks. No, no,
there is some things where you just choose your battles. You like, what? My kids survived even when they snuck outside with socks. You know what? Go ahead, Emily. But there is some things that you do learn to. You know what? I'm just gonna. We have enough things already going on. Deanon says, yeah, patience and very much so out of the box candle problem type thinking, or candle problem type thinking. Uh, Shanti says, it was hard for me as well because I'm on the spectrum and struggle with anxiety while I'm trying to help my children with theirs. Yeah, that is hard. I can just say that I think my anxiety, I have severe anxiety, and I think that kind of helps me relate to what Emily must feel like. I know I don't feel it to the same degree because she can't verbalize and express and discuss things the same way for biofeedback therapy, or she needed counseling or anything like that. She cannot have that back and forth. So I know that that has to make the anxiety at least double what I'm going through. But I do feel like it's a benefit to an extent that I can understand what anxiety is.
When I get bored, I do math problems. It soothes you, those numbers, over
I
and
would
over again.
if my brain went into math mode every time I get bored, I would not let myself get bored.
Right. You
I'd
could
be like, no, no.
have so many variations of mathematics.
Oh my goodness.
Daniel goes outside with just his underwear and no shoes or socks. Oh my goodness, Daniel. I can't make it stop. Or I said Dada like my dad back home in Ohio. Yeah. Perhaps I should have clarified out with socks and no shoes. I am not flexible enough to let them roam with no clothes.
Yeah, so I think that it seems like patience and understanding to choose your kind of choosing your battles. And I know that that comes for like Victoria and myself. We have raised kids older, and then you're raising your youngest one. It can come for two reasons, okay, it wasn't such a big deal, or this I can let go. And but then when you're dealing with a child on the spectrum, you have to pick and choose as well. Is it really, you choose your battles for different reasons at that point.
Right.
Michelle says, I wish I could be that free. I hate clothes.
I've been trying to stop my son from cursing, but most of the time when he starts to get frustrated, I guess he will start to just yell random words, or most times he will just yell out the F word. And when it's bedtime, he will play with his saliva. And that's something I just can't get him to stop. And I've heard of a lot of our kids that go through that, the curse words. Um, but his triggers, what triggers him when he gets certain things that frustrate him, that makes him say. I'm wondering if there is a way when you realize he's frustrated, maybe some type of distraction away from the words. Does he do it just at home or out in public? Melody says, my daughter does more physical stimulation and it's like her brain doesn't shut off. So before bed, I have her to write a story to clear her mind. It has been, oh, that's a good idea.
Good.
Good idea. Real good idea. My son's swearing has really calmed down since we started quarantine. Okay.
Hey, Danielle.
Danielle.
That's good that it's slowed down.
Right. Oh, goodness. Mr. Charles. Her mother will look at us and play with nothing on her. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, I want to mention I put at the bottom about our book club. For those of you who are interested in joining us, there's still plenty of room. Visit our website, autismandus.org. Click on discussions and more to join the membership. It's a lot more under that membership than the book club, but we're looking for more members. We are on the reason I jump. Linda is heading the book club. So when is the next meeting? Official meeting?
I was going to announce, yeah. I think it was Wednesday that everybody voted was the best day. So it will be Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. Seemed like it was the most popular day or most available day. Okay. So it will be Wednesdays. And the book reason I jump is a really quick read, a really short book. This is the second time we'll be meeting to discuss it, and we will be discussing the entire book. That's how quick a read it is, and so it'll be a week from this Wednesday. So if you're interested in joining us, it's not too late to buy the book or purchase the book, get the book, obtain the book, and it will be plenty of time to read that.
Yes, and we do book giveaways. So you could be the lucky winner of a book on the book that we are reading. Well, this is the end of this one, so we'll be on to the next one. And I did mention I was gonna reach out. So I don't know when we want to do that. Reach out to Dr. Michael Ellis to see if he could come in, but I guess we can talk about that later.
And so I was thinking that maybe this Wednesday we should get together to discuss what book we'll be reading after this one. So next Wednesday to discuss it and finish it up, and then we can discuss what book we'll be reading after that. We can do that this Wednesday so everyone can have the book by the time we finish the next one. So this Wednesday at 6 p.m. we will be meeting, the book club will be meeting to discuss the next book.
Okay.
And perhaps it'll be the one where we can have the author come visit us. So maybe we'll be reading his book, like you said, the doctor.
Oh yeah, we can discuss. Here's Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie.
Hi everyone.
Hey.
Okay, I put the link to the StreamYard. You guys know, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut everybody short, but I have to get prepare myself. So I put the link in for the StreamYard. You are welcome to follow that link and come on in the chat with us for the last few minutes of our session and say hello. So how you doing today, Mr. Charlie?
Oh, I'm doing fine. So how was your dinner, Nita?
Oh, it was delicious.
That's good. Yeah.
I had some salmon.
That's right.
Salmon and rice. It was delicious.
Well, that's good. Cindy and I decided to treat ourselves to dinner from a seafood restaurant in North Haven today. She got the shrimp dinner, which is what she pretty much always gets. I got a soft shell crab dinner.
Oh, that sounds good.
We went there to get dinner one time when we had just moved to Connecticut, and she ordered a captain's platter, and I got soft shell crab. I knew she'd opened the wrong box when she opened it up, and she recoiled from it. She saw that big bug there.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Catherine.
Hey.
Hey, Kate.
How are you doing?
Hey.
Yeah. So how are you today, Kate?
Good. Working on packing my lunch for work tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Getting ready to go back into the classroom with the crazy kiddos for another week.
Mm-hmm. Another week of excitement.
Oh, we have science experiment this week. We have Western Day. We have water play. We have a whole bunch of crap coming up this week that I had to go buy stuff for.
I
have like 20,000 bags full of stuff to bring in tomorrow.
Wow. Life of a teacher.
I know. It's like, I feel like every week I'm back at Walmart. I'm like, okay, this is this month's calendar. This is what I need. This is what I don't have. So I went shopping, I think like $200 worth at least.
Oh, wow.
Yep,
Hmm.
at least.
Are you getting help from the district?
No, they don't
No.
pay for anything. The center makes us pay for everything.
Wow.
Like crayons, colored pencils, markers.
Do they reimburse you?
No, like
No.
they said they would at first, but now they're
Mhm.
saying it's getting too expensive, so they stopped reimbursing us.
Wow. That
So
that's
Boy, yeah, that's not good.
well, bless your
Yeah.
heart.
I
Bless your
know.
heart.
Right.
I told them when I leave, I'm going to be taking everything that I bought with me because if they're not going to pay it back, why am I letting them keep it? Because I could use that for
Yeah.
my classroom. So all that stuff will go home with me. But other than that, I'm just chilling. It's been a late night. I've been like resting all day, and I'm like, okay, now I have to get up and actually get moving. I have to pack my lunch and get ready for work tomorrow and make sure I have everything ready. So it's been a long day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's
Someone
good though. It's good to keep.
It's still going. I wish it was early tomorrow morning so I could just be done. I'm leaving early tomorrow for the dentist. So I'm like, can we hurry up tomorrow so I can go home already?
someone asks, have you applied for any grant?
I have not because I haven't found any that I can actually get approved for. So I need to look into that more often.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
fundraisers. Do
I've
you
tried to.
have
Nobody
you
will.
have a Amazon wish list?
I did, but everybody's saying, "Oh, it's too expensive. None of us are gonna help you." So I think
They
I just don't have
told you
good.
that?
I just don't have good friends that care about me like that. So I think I'll have to try something different. I
You
just
work
don't know.
at a center?
Yeah.
They don't provide those things?
Nope.
They get to write all that off too. I mean, it's
Right.
probably is it a nonprofit or is it for a profit company?
It's for a profit.
It is for profit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that those are all write-offs. I'm surprised that they're not purchasing those things.
Yeah, I
They,
would make a big stink about that because,
Mhm.
I
you
have.
They're
know,
getting paid profit-wise.
right.
He mostly told me on Friday if I don't like it that I can leave.
Really?
Yep.
What would the kids use if you didn't buy the stuff?
Exactly.
Nothing. We probably shut down because we have no supplies.
And that's what the company should be thinking. That's the way they should be thinking.
And they're not. And I mean, Linda, it's so bad that I have roaches in my classroom. Like, I've tried cleaning it. I've tried sweeping the floors every day. I've tried mopping before I leave. I spray everything with bleach. Like, I don't know what to do to make this stop.
Oh my
I
goodness.
mean, the roaches,
Yeah.
like, the guys, too, not the little teeny weeny ones, the huge, like, guys that, like, crawl over the floors. They're over my trash can. I'm like, I just want to vomit.
Oh,
And I'm in a bad neighborhood,
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
it kind of talks for itself.
mhm. Yeah, I just can't get over a school would not even, you know, attempt to help. I
They
know we have issues with our
care about.
school, and our schools are terrible, but they, so most of the teachers do have to, but the parents come together sometimes
That's
too.
what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah, what about the
What?
parent?
I asked them about the parent interaction. We're not allowed to have any parents at our center right now due to COVID. So we take the kids inside, we drop them off outside. Like, we're not allowed to have any interaction. We can't play in the playground, we can't do certain things. Like, our center is just like falling. And there's like I can't do anything.
And roach,
Yeah.
Kenyana say try DuPont roach bait,
I'm
but
gonna
still, that is the school's responsibility.
Hmm.
That's
And
it
that
is.
should be their
Yeah.
responsibility because if you brought in something to get rid of it and it harmed the children, it'd be
yeah,
on them.
yeah.
So they need to really think about like their liability in that. And if you guys did not purchase anything, the kids wouldn't have the things to use. They would go under. Maybe that is the point where that's a way to let the parents know your kids are not getting what you're paying for. You might have to stand your ground, but at least if it's not working for you as the in between to purchase all this stuff, you need to put your foot down. And I mean, the kids are going to get the services, whether it's the vouchers are being paid to this company or another one. But if the company isn't performing, they don't deserve to get paid.
Oh, the playground that we have, it's
The
like
one
for
thing that
kids
will
that
get rid of
are
roaches
newborn
is
to
boric acid.
Yeah,
I
Is
think
what?
boric,
4 or
Oh
5,
yeah.
boric.
and we can't even use a playground because my kids are like 4 and 5. So they don't let us use the playground. So they have me out in this open big field in the back of the whatever they call the building or whatever. But we have like this huge field of just open land. They have no barriers, no fence, no nothing. And it's up to me to keep 25 kids in my sight by myself outside.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't like this job and I'm looking for something new, but just trying to keep my head above water until I can find that area.
Well, my concern would be you just started the job and you're spending your paycheck. You
Yeah.
know,
And that's exactly
that's
the problem.
not
Like, they're
that's
spending
not
more than
fair
they're
to
making.
you, huh?
I'm spending more than I'm making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's got to be some. This is not a public school. It's
Yeah,
charter.
that's not good.
There's like a
You can't do
charter,
that.
yeah,
Oh,
one
it's
of
a
those like
charter.
Montessori charter things.
Oh yeah, so it's all for profit. So do you you can't even count the deductions, so it doesn't, you don't get the money back, and you're
I
pitting.
could send you pictures of all the supplies I have on the floor when I get off of this to show you
Yeah.
Oh, that
guys.
makes me mad.
There's got to be someone you can talk to because
Mhm.
I just don't like that, Kate.
Yeah,
I
that's
tried
what
Spending your money, sweetie.
to
yeah.
leave.
And
Yeah.
Janan says, what about calling the authorities to get the
Yeah, where
authorities
are
to come
you?
down on them to get
What
what they
part of the
need?
country are you in?
I've tried doing that too, but they said if I call the authorities, I'd be fired.
It might be time to not be there anyways.
And
Well,
that's,
because you know that things like this normally collapse anyways. It might
yeah,
be a good idea to leave ahead of time.
and that's what I'm trying to get out, but I can't find another job in my area. Like everything is in the bad neighborhood,
Oh, okay.
and I'm crushing because I'm
Yeah,
like,
but where are you, Kate?
I love my kids, but I
Oh,
just
she's
don't.
in Texas.
Yeah, I'm in Texas.
In Texas. Okay, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love my,
Texas,
but I can't.
they're notorious for, being, tight-fisted when it comes to any kind of government spending. They're notorious for that in Texas. They have long been that way.
Exactly. I mean, I have, I think, at least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have 5 bags of things filled from the bottom to the top of supplies to bring in.
Wow.
And like the big Vera Bradley totes, that's what I'm using right now. And I have at least 5 of them prepared for tomorrow.
And Michelle has a good point. They can't fire you for reporting safety issues.
Oh, they've already threatened to get rid of me. She told
Yeah,
me
they
the other
can
day,
threaten,
she gave
but
me a
Yeah,
satisfactory.
that's a lawsuit.
I know
yeah, they
I got
can
a
threaten. I mean,
satisfactory
not to say
progress
that they
report.
can, but they probably will threaten. But don't let that make you believe that it's right.
Yeah, they gave me a satisfactory progress report, and I'm not even 90 days in. And she said that I'm not holding my weight. So I think they know that I know all the laws, and I think they think that I'm like a risk to them. So they're trying to figure out a way to get rid of me.
Oh,
And you
yeah.
just started. Wow.
Michelle says it's not federally funded. This is a huge issue. It's like I have a child care, and so it's a private child care. You know, like my own business. I'm sole proprietor, right? So everything that I put into it counts as deductions. You know, profit and loss, and that's the same for them. So we have like Montessori. Montessori is considered a center, so their money comes, it's the same exact money, it's just a center based, so it's not a sole proprietorship. But it's the same thing. Everything you put into it is what you deduct. To earn all that money and not put back into their business, they should be paying like skyrocket taxes on their income. So they want to put back into deductions.
The
So
only thing
if they're not doing that, there has to be some other reason why they're not doing that, you know, whether they're
the only thing that they're doing is they provide breakfast, they provide PM snack. My
and
kids
then
have to bring their lunch every day with them in a lunch bag or lunch box, whatever. But then after that, that's all they provide. Like every time we have like a Western day,
mhm.
water play, whatever it is, field day, carnival day, whatever they call it, we have to come up with the activity and we have to buy the supplies for everything.
Yeah, even the food that they're supplying
That's
is
ridiculous.
federally paid for, because
Yeah,
we
they
get like
definitely get
we get a
food.
snack and 2 meals. Yeah, that's the federal government will pay centers for that, so they're not even paying for that. And yeah, they pay more than you really have to put into it because they pay per child.
Yeah,
if
they go
you're
to
making
Sam's
bulk.
Club and the bundles of whatever they get.
Yeah, so they're not even paying for that. I have no idea where their expenses are going,
Did
but
you, let me ask you this, Kate. Did you go for the job on your own?
I know I when I found out about this place, they had called me over FaceTime and she made it sound so great. So I went with it, and then the first week that I worked with them, I thought it was gonna be a great fit. But then as soon as I got 2 weeks in, that's when they started like pushing all this on me, like, oh, you have to buy all this, and you have to do this, you have to do that. And I just felt like they're on top of me to pressure me. It's like, are you gonna sink or are you gonna swim, and are you gonna survive past 90 days?
you don't give them your receipts, do you?
Yeah, they're taking advantage of
Yeah,
you.
because they told me at first they reimbursed.
No,
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 that's where it is.
No.
They're counting your receipts most likely. That's
no.
why they're asking for your receipts.
You
Never
keep
give them
your
your receipts unless they're going to reimburse you. They don't even need your receipts.
right.
Okay.
They
I
can
guess
see the items. They do not need your receipts.
okay, so that's what they're doing is they're taking my receipts but
I'm not
counting.
saying that that's I'm not saying that they're deducting it and doing all that, but why else would they want your receipts?
Unless they're handing you a check right then and there,
Mhm.
you hold
Then they
on to
just see the items. Yeah. Because especially if the situation comes up later on down the road where you want to put this issue on the table, you need those receipts. But they want receipts. They can go buy the stuff themselves and get a receipt.
Exactly.
Those are yours. That's your money.
I feel like crap that I'm like buying all this shit, and I'm like, I love these
Yeah, they're
kids.
taking advantage of you.
Mm-hmm.
I love my kids, Linda. Like I'll cry about it because I love my kids, but it's like almost 2 months in, and I don't think I can do it anymore.
And
Yeah, they're taking advantage of you.
Yeah,
That's what they're doing.
Sounds like.
And it's gonna get you feeling like this. That if as long as they're gonna be able to stronghold somebody to do this for the kids, then they're gonna keep doing it. If you put your foot down and don't allow it, maybe other people will follow. Maybe they won't find other people to do it, and then they won't be in the position to even ask anyone to do this anymore. And the kids will go somewhere else.
Yeah, and now
where their money is going.
With the ratios now, they've sent me home early 2 days in a row every week so far, and nobody else is volunteering to leave. There's 6 teachers, including me, and nobody else will volunteer to leave. Every time that they come to my classroom, they're like, "Oh, okay, it's 1:30. We're gonna send you home because we don't need you. Bring your kids next door, drop them off, clean your room, and go." So I've lost out on 4 days worth of pay, and I'm like, why do I keep going home? Like I'm the only one going home.
Oh my goodness, I'm so
Yeah, they're taking advantage of you.
Yeah, they are.
I would not stay
They
in
are.
that
They-
job.
For every other ABA place, and nobody will hire me here. Like I don't know what they want from me. Like,
And this is ABA services that is for the center is for ABA.
It's for daycare and ABA. We do certain things.
And ABA for diagnosed children.
Yep.
That's a serious issue because that's not only like daycare or childcare. That's actually medical insurance is paying for that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's all kind of issues in that. I mean, it's all kind of issues. And if you're spending more money than you're making anyways, you're not making money there. So I mean, what would you be losing?
Right, exactly.
Like nobody will hire me, and I have the experience.
Yeah, you're paying them for the privilege of working there.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
In fact, that's what's happening. You're paying them for the privilege of working for them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. Like no other ABA place will hire me. So if you guys know anybody in my area, like let me know. I'm trying to get out.
Don't give up. Just keep on. Somebody will need you. It's probably all this COVID right now. Everything is slowed up.
I've
but
tried
I'm
with
sure.
action behavioral innovations, like several ABA places, and they're all saying they're entry level positions. And then once they interview me, they're like, "Oh, you have to have a bachelor's degree." I'm like, "No, that's for the BA or higher. For what I am, it's entry level. It's high school or associate's degree, which I have both."
You okay? So are you applying for a technician? Now I know the BC the BCBA does have to have a bachelor because that's the
and and
now,
the tech is entry level.
Yeah, the tech, like the one that comes to my house, Maya, she's a tech, and her BCBA, she comes like once or twice a month.
Is the entry level tech and nobody wants to hire me. Like, I automatically put it in my Indeed application, and the same night, like an hour later, it comes back saying, "Sorry, we've moved on without you." I'm like, you don't even call me. You don't even give me a chance. Like, how do you know who I am?
Yeah. And usually, most of the time with the techs, they offer training.
I
So
know.
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
Because
Don't
I mean,
give up, though.
oftentimes you can tell that those people have never worked anything ABA before, and they come
Right.
in, they get trained, and they learn, and a lot of times they don't even last because they didn't know anything about what it was.
Mhm.
And that's where I'm like, I'm losing my mind because I want to cry because I don't want to be at this job anymore. And I'm like, I'm trying my hardest just to stick it out until I can find something. But I feel like I'm
It'll
being taken
come.
advantage of, like you said. Like every day I'm being taken advantage of.
Well, it'll come. I'm sure once this corona stuff slows off, that's probably all it is right now. Um,
Hmm.
just hold on and don't give up. And I wanted
Yeah.
to say something to Veronica because she says she sees all the faces. It must mean it's dinner time. Guess what, Veronica? I ate right here.
Where is the others?
I ate too. I'm not gonna lie. I ate pork chops, so I was watching you guys, and they were good.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to
Yeah.
find work these days. Unfortunately, my sister-in-law got laid off and went from making 25 an hour to finding a new job. Wow. Oops, she took a big pay cut.
And they're only
Well,
paying me $9.50 an hour at the center full time. I'm not getting anything more than that.
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah. They're taking
Veronica,
advantage of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
and Danon says hugs, and Monique says don't give up, sweetie.
Yeah.
Thanks, Monique. I love you guys. I love all
And
No.
then
of you.
Michelle says keep your head up. Don't let some jerks bring you down.
I'm gonna try. It's hard.
Mhm. Yeah, but I would look into something that says technician, ABA technician with training.
I've applied to like 42 plus jobs like that, and they've all moved on
Wow.
without me. I don't
All
understand what's wrong.
it's probably not you. It's just hold on. Hold on.
That's what
It's coming, girl. Keep the
I'm
faith.
trying. I'm trying. Trying to get out there as soon as I can because like every day that I'm there, I'm like, oh, okay, you have to know the portions of how much food you're giving them, and if you don't do it correctly, then our boss gets in trouble, and it's all this crap. I'm like, I'm only 2 weeks in. I don't know that my 5 and 4 year olds get 6 ounces, and then my after schoolers get 8. Like I have to keep an eye on it, and I'm like, you guys don't even have a cheat sheet in the room for me to know this information. So when I had the lady from the food program on FaceTime with me the other morning serving breakfast, she's like, "You're not doing it right. It's 6 ounces, not 4 ounces." I was like, I didn't know that. I have no cheat sheet. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, and those are the
Yeah.
they're big on that because the government is paying for that food. You have
Yeah.
an option to accept those meals or pay for them out of your own business income. But when they have the portions like that, it's because it's the USDA's program that they're getting
Yep.
funded. So
Yep.
they need to
Yeah.
whatever
Make
you
up
do,
your own
don't give
cheat
them your
sheet.
receipts anymore. Yeah.
And
Do
she's like, I
not
work
give them
for
your
a bishop
receipts.
too, and that's her. Like, I feel like working for a bishop, he doesn't care about me. Like, I've tried reaching out, I've tried emailing, just don't care about me at all.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm stressing myself out. It's been one of those
Well, we
nights.
don't want you to stress. Just keep
No.
the faith. It's
Hang in there and then think about your activities that you have with the kids this week. Think of the things that you bought and just enjoy them with the kids. The kids will enjoy it.
one
Just look at
second.
it from the point of view of them.
Are you handling all the children alone? Yes. I have 14 or 15 right now. I could go up to 25 by myself. So yes,
Oh
I
my
am.
goodness.
Yes.
That doesn't even sound right.
So messed up. So messed up.
Yeah.
I have 15.
Yeah.
Right now, my
If
tally
what you're telling us,
is every day, but I
you're
could go up
paying
to 20.
them for the privilege of working there. In
Yeah.
effect, you're
You're buying
paying
their
them for the privilege
supplies.
of working for them.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
That's what my mom said. She's like, where the hell are you working? Because they're taking advantage of you. She
Yeah,
said,
that's exactly what they're
it was
doing.
sad to see how my oldest son goes through the same thing, applying so many jobs, and they do the same thing. They don't even review the applications. He submits them, In 20 minutes, he gets an email with the thanks for your interest, but we have considered another candidate. He suffers from bipolar. Yep, I suffer from anxiety and bipolar and OCD and ADHD, so I could definitely relate to that one, Virginia. Definitely can
Yeah,
relate.
Michelle said anonymous reports to the health department.
Okay, I'll have to start looking into doing that too.
And Monique says, don't stress, just keep the faith. And whatever you do when you do report, make sure you keep it anonymous. Tell them you want to keep it anonymous. If the company comes to you and says that they were told it was you and you kept it anonymous, they weren't told it was you. So don't let them kind of trick you into saying, oh, I'm sorry, or, coming down on you.
Yeah.
Because that will never be released. Even if you say it's anonymous and you give the health department your name, it'll never be released to them.
Okay. I'm just so stressed. Like, I need to get out of this place as soon as possible.
Danielle says, don't stress. We're concerned about you. Monique says, don't stress. Keep the faith.
Yep,
And,
I'm concerned about it too, Danielle. Like, I'm trying not to cry right now. It's just so much pressure. So much pressure. It does not sound right. It's not right. I walked in my first week and I had 15 kids by myself. And then now knowing the fact that my binder has up to 25 kids and I'm going to be by myself with all 25 when they return supposedly in a couple of weeks, I don't know how I'm going to handle 25 kids by myself. And they're all ranges from 4 to 5-year-olds. And then I have the after schoolers as well. So I have like 4 or 5s and then I think 7 to 12 or something like that.
Companies will take advantage of people if some companies will, and they depend on somebody reporting them. Otherwise, they just keep on doing it because they're run by unscrupulous people who that's what they do. They take advantage of people, and they're from what you've told us, they're definitely taking advantage of you.
Yep. And once they know they can, they will do it. And if anyone allows them to continue to do it, they will also continue to do it. So you need to,
I can send you all the pictures of all the bags of supplies that I have ready to go for tomorrow. But I'm telling them right now, all those supplies are going into my room tomorrow. They're leaving with me when I leave. Like, those are all mine. I bought all that stuff.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Last week, I bought water guns. I bought water balloons. I bought water toys. My 4 water guns I bought, like, they're these long shooter things, like sticks at Walmart. They disappeared from me, and I went to the office to ask about them. And she's like, oh, no, none of us have seen them. We don't know who has them. Ask around. So then I asked around, and everybody's like, no, I don't have them. What are you talking about? So I'm like, I think somebody took them and didn't tell me. So now I just went to Walmart, and I bought 8 of them. And I'm like, I'm just afraid that they're going to take those on me, too, and I'm going to lose everything.
Well, I think that's why they're asking you for your receipts, so that you don't have proof that you bought those things. So, you go to take them home and they say, hey, you're stealing from us, and you can't prove that those are things you bought with your own money. That's why they want your receipts.
Exactly. So I'm not going to give them to them anymore. It's over. It's done. My anxiety is so bad. I'm just shaking. Like, I don't even want to go back tomorrow.
Danielle says, no, please think of yourself and your mental health first. You can help children. You can't help children if you're not well.
I know.
Definitely true.
Danielle, like, my anxiety is so bad right now. You can probably see me shaking. My anxiety is, like, so bad right now. My, like, teeth keep chattering. I'm, like, shaking.
Yeah. Well, hang in there. Think about the kids this week. If you decide to stay, think about the kids. Think about it from that perspective. Yeah, hang in there. Don't give them your receipts.
Thing that I bought, it's like insane how much I've had to buy.
Yeah.
Insanity.
Oh my goodness. So thank you everybody for helping her. This is crazy. I mean, it's like I'm like, oh my goodness.
This, like, I get myself into the worst positions possible, and then I just don't know how to get myself out. Like, it always seems to happen to me, always.
It's because you care. When you care, it's hard to walk away from things like that. But when you care like that, people see that, and unscrupulous people, like Charles said, will take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's where I feel like I'm like, oh my God, I just need to get out. I'm not happy there.
Yeah. Like Danielle said, you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself first.
Like if I go to lunch and I come back an hour after my lunch shift, because our lunch is an hour from the time that our relief walks in. So I left the other day at 12:28, and she's like, "Oh no, it was 12:20." I said, "No, you walked in at 12:20, but I was sweeping my floors and cleaning the tables before I leave my room. By the time I walked out, it was 28 after 12. So I came back at 1:28. She's like, "No, you need to be back at 1:20. What don't you get?" I was like, oh my God, like I can't keep doing this. Like you're making me anxious. So that's so I was like,
Yeah, they're
get out.
taking advantage of you big time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And my fiance Rob hasn't even seen my room yet, so I'm probably gonna bring him in tomorrow to see how bad my classroom is.
Oh my goodness.
Your name on the stuff yet?
Not yet. I have no Sharpies here. They're all in my classroom. They're all in my bin in my classroom.
Paint. Draw, whatever.
And I don't want to use paint. I want my Sharpies. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I will.
Well, everybody, I want to thank you all. Kate, keep the faith.
I will. Thanks. I'm trying.
And we are going to log off for this evening. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And don't forget about the book club meeting.
Danielle, quickly, Danielle, you can message me if you want to talk to me. Nita can give you my Facebook page and we can PM about it if you want to talk. That's fine.
Awesome. Awesome.
Ow, Pete.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Thanks
right.
for joining us. Thanks for the support. And yeah, thank you for everything.
Good night,
See you
everybody.
guys later. Bye,
Good night,
Charles
everyone.
and Catherine.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.
Good night.